I've just been working on my software app, kind of like a electronic health record system. And I think the primary questions now is that it's pretty much fleshed out, almost ready to like sell to other places actually.
Okay.
And I have some questions about like the deployment.
Yes.
I know that because I vibe coded the whole thing and I don't really understand anything about like deployment and like security and like the best way to approach it, things like that. I think those are some of the questions I'm thinking about. So one of the things that I decided was because I don't have 100% stake in the company that I'm working at, I'm definitely going to build, like just make another company. Or right now I'm doing a sole proprietorship because it's not tested yet.
Okay.
So I'm just going to have my company right now that I'm not 100% owning to kind of pretty much subscribe to my software through kind of a sole proprietorship.
I see. So you're going to sell the software to the company you're working at?
Yes.
I think one thing off the bat here that might be want to be careful of is usually at especially like tech companies, if you build software like at the company, it's like automatically their IP.
I own majority of my company.
Okay.
I just don't,
all right.
I don't own 100%.
I see. Okay.
So, and I'm on the board, so I'm pretty sure I can make that decision. So I'm not
Okay.
too
Okay, you're
worried
good.
about. That's why I just want to sell it on the side as well. And also, if I do end up selling to other businesses, I want that to be separate from this specific company, because this is just like my company right now is pretty much just operating. So we do adult day healthcares. We're just the operation, right? Like we own brick and mortar adult day healthcares.
Yeah.
I want to separate this so that this can be like either I decide to make this like a adult day healthcare management company or just like a software company. So you got me on Tailscale, which I really like. I like it a lot better than what I used Parsec before.
Yeah.
But Tailscale is really nice. It's like full screen and then it's like pretty responsive. So I like it. Yeah. So pretty much this is it. Built a whole like front end. Before we were using a bunch of Excels and like bunch of data everywhere. So I kind of just put everything together and pretty much made like something that I can track. This is like the CRM, you can say, right?
Yeah.
Like when customers come in, they want to enroll, like what's the process, like how to track that, for example. A lot of the data points. So like when they come in, we got to do like a initial assessment, we call it, to kind of see where the participant or the patient is at. Before this was all Excel. Now it's like interactable. Like we have a picture here.
Nice. Yeah.
We have a bunch of data in here that we can put in, and then it's pretty much a lot on the operations side. So it saves my staff a lot of time to just put in all the information. They don't have to do double entry. Sometimes, you have to put in Excel and then you got to put in Excel. Excel's also break. Pretty much this is good. I also have like a transportation system that I said that also is on a different app. Authorizations, just some really big pain points. Right now it's just a lot of dashboard data. Thinking about changing this maybe a little bit later. I know that dashboards are dying.
It's going to take a while before they die, but they are.
Yeah, just a lot of this data, it was just like almost impossible. You would have to calculate it by hand because EHCs are like very boomer business. They have, the tech is just so outdated. There's like nothing there.
Yeah.
So it's actually super niche. And for some reason, I'm in this business. So there's just an opportunity. So I just feel like I just built these things. So the way that the insurance companies pay is they'll give us units, and these units they'll give us through 6 months. And then sometimes it's just super hard to track, right? Like how many times the participant has come. So just build this kind of dashboard, pretty much saying, okay, this person has fulfilled that month. They could come 12 times. Did they actually come 12 times? And then we can pretty much just tell them, hey, you can make up days. Like, look, this person didn't come, like only came one time this month in September, let's just say, for example. Then we can just tell them, hey, you can make up this many amount of times. And then that's that lost revenue you could, add back to the business. Things like that. Seating chart. Like we have a ton of people, right? We have like 160 plus people per day. So just like knowing where the seating is and everything, I think that's important. And then just assigning the seating, because like they come on different schedules. So it'll be like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, right? You have a bunch of these random permutations of scheduling, and it gets really complicated. If you have a lot of people, then this would be super useful when you can just see if this person's here that day, or like, for example, if you want to find some open seat on specific days, like if I choose this, like see what seats are open on, like with this permutation, for example. I just have a bunch of things that pretty much just solve my pain points. Not going to go over everything.
Yeah, I think this is great. Thanks for showing this. So my question is like, how is this software used by your team? Like
for activity, so when my participants come in, they need to be assigned the seat because they'll typically, people like, especially seniors, they get angry when things change a lot. So like, for example, if they're sitting there, they've been always sitting there and then someone just comes and swoops their seat, they'll be like, this is my seat. And then, you don't want people getting arguments or they're kind of like kids sometimes, right? They'll get in fights and stuff. They'll like get in fist fights sometimes. Damn. So you want to kind of prevent that. So I have my activity do the seating. So when they come in, part of their interview process will be like, oh, okay, like, what languages do you speak? Like what's your ambulation level? And then that will determine like where we're going to seat you, for example, and what days do you want to come. They'll kind of like do this kind of process where they'll choose a seat based on like the schedule and then all these things that I talked about. So that's where my activity would use this. Before we would just use Excel and it would look something like this. So we would just be putting in people like this just so that my activity is kind of used to.
So sorry, Chris, when you say activity, you mean like the people, like your staff?
Yeah, my activity staff. Okay, my activities. We also have this documentation thing called the flow sheet. Pretty much it's like a documentation every month, and they got to print this out for the health department that comes in. They come to do audits every year. They need to see that we actually performed what we said we're going to do, pretty much. So like, for example, we're looking at occupational therapy. This is like the interventions or what we're supposed to provide the seniors with. So this one would be 3 times a week, right? They want to see these sheets to know that we've done these specific things, just so that we actually provide services to them. It's kind of a sheet that we have. We need that for pretty much every department. Like we have a nursing department. They would have something where we put like their vitals in and things like that.
Okay, I think this is great. How many people is working through the software from your team?
I would say somewhere around like 20, because I have about 30 staff, and I would say about 20 people touch the software.
Okay, and this is not deployed currently, right? So you're just running this on localhost. So how is your staff using this from your localhost?
Right now, the server is running on my local computer. So just my computer, and I just leave my computer on.
Okay, I see. So they tailscale into your computer to use it?
No, they do not tailscale. I'm not sure exactly what I did, but I did something like Flask or Waitress or something. I'm not even sure. Again, like it just recommended me something. I used to use the Fast, but I think it changed to Flask.
I guess like my question is like your staff from their own computers, how are they using your software if you haven't deployed yet? Or have you already deployed?
It's like this. So they just put in this, and as long as they're connected to my Wi-Fi network, they can access.
Okay, gotcha. My next question is, what is the technology used to build this? Is it Next.js?
The technology used to build this.
Yeah. If you go into a cloud and just ask it, it'll tell you. Like, just ask it, what is the framework used? Let me give you a bit of a mental model for this. So essentially, for any of this type of like web software, you have usually a 3-level separation. Is you have a front end, like it says here, front end. So the front end is basically like what you see. It's like the UI, the user interface. And then you have a back end, which is usually where all the logic is. The front end, the UI communicates with the back end. So if I click a button on the UI, that sends a message to the back end software, which is the Python Flask that you have here. And then your backend software does some like whatever logic it needs to do. It communicates with the database. So your database here is SQLite, it says, and that's where your data is like stored for the long term. Your backend uses Python Flask. So Flask is just like a framework for Python to like host web services. So Python Flask is the backend framework you have here. SQLite is the actual database, and your front end is actually on Alpine.js, which nobody really uses this. Very interesting. If you scroll down a bit, let's take a look at what it says. If you can prompt here real quick, say, do we have anything hosted, or is everything local currently? And if we wanted to deploy this, can we use Next.js for Alpine.js? Oh, sorry, remove Next.js, say Vercel. So essentially, when you want to deploy this, all these separate parts needs to be deployed, like the database, the backend, and the front end. And Next.js is usually like this like front-end, back-end framework that comes into one, and it's just like it's very easy to deploy via Vercel. Like Vercel is the platform that allows you to just like deploy stuff to it. So let's see if we can use it with Alpine.
And so like the other big dilemma I have is that if I do like a SaaS, like I'm probably gonna have to jump through like 10,000 compliance hoops with like HIPAA and like, data security, things like that. I'm just starting out. So like I was just thinking like what is the best model for me? Like let's just say I want to build for somebody else. Like if I build for myself, okay, like but if I really want to like build for somebody else, like and I have to store their data, I'm sure there's like some kind of compliance things I have to worry about. And I probably would have to get someone to help me to do that.
Yeah.
Is there a way where I can just like store their data locally, but that way I don't have to jump through a lot of those compliance things? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's gonna be tough for you to just host it locally. On the compliant part, like that's probably gonna be even tougher because a lot of these databases that are existing, their platforms, they have like compliance stuff that come with them. So for example, Supabase is a database that has like framework all set up. And if you deploy via Supabase, it has built-in authentication, identity, like discerning and like role level security. So like someone else cannot query data about like another person that's like unrelated to them. For example, me, I should only be able to query data about myself, not other people. And also already HIPAA compliant. So definitely you should be using these existing databases or deployment platforms. They will come with like compliance and security and all of that. The main thing you have to worry about when you deploy like a SaaS is mainly like authentication and identity. So you have to like put in the actual code how your software is authenticated. So for example, you can do login with Google, right? So everyone that uses your app has to log in with Google. And by doing that, it's a lot easier because you're leveraging Google's authentication. So that will like automatically have like their email address and whatever information is like attached to that. And then inside of your app, your Python Flask backend, right? That's like the authentication. You put the logic inside your backend, Python Flask. There you can decide what does this person have access to. One is authorization. So who is actually able to use your app? And the second part is identity. It's like this person is able to use your app, but what can they actually access within the app itself? Because maybe some parts of the app only certain people should be accessing. The logic for these two is the main thing you have to take care of. And most of the other stuff should be okay. Like it shouldn't be that crazy. For example, like when you click a button on your website, right? Let's say you choose some seating for these people. And then you want to save this, right? You save this to the database, your SQLite database for the long term. That is like called an HTTP request from your front end to the back end to the database. From your back end to the database, it's already going to be secure via the database stuff. The only thing you really have to worry about is like your back end here needs an authentication layer so that not everyone can just send stuff to your database. Does that make sense? Okay. If I were you, I would try to understand how that layer works now. So you can just prompt your AI and try to understand how do I authenticate my application properly? Because right now, I don't think you have any type of authentication, right? It's like you need to log in to use the app. That's the main thing. I think like you can do this. You can make this happen. You just need to work on that, the authentication layer. Okay, Alpine is not a problem. SQLite doesn't survive serverless or so. So there's definitely going to be a bit more work that goes into this if you want to make it a SaaS. I would say it's definitely possible. My question is like, how much work do you want to put into this to make, like how much do you want to make this a SaaS versus just like using it for yourself to grow your business currently?
Like I want to go approach other ADHDs and see how they feel about it because I think it's great, right? But I build it. My staff like it a lot, that's for sure, because I think I'm reducing their workload significantly as well. But how do other boomer owners feel about this is a different question. So I think I'm just gonna go approach them, see what they think. So maybe like a process. I'm not sure exactly how I would approach them if I don't have it ready though, like
I mean, you could just show your existing dashboard, right? Like you can just have one that it has like mock data for all your users, so you get rid of the PII. You can probably just ask Cloud to make a bunch of mock stuff and have one for presentation mode. Yeah, I think that sounds like a fair plan. Like if you just go up to these other places and gauge their interest, that I think should give you some pretty good signal. And I think after that, you could probably decide if it's worth it to like hire a specific software person to help you with this. This is definitely going to take you a decent amount of time. Like you're gonna have to do the SaaS. I don't know like how much time you have to just like build this out yourself.
What do you think is me having to learn and understand everything is probably what's gonna take the longest, right?
Yeah, I would say like if you can dedicate 15 hours a week for this, is that a lot?
Yeah, it is quite a bit.
Okay. How long did it take you to build this whole thing?
I started when Fable started. Not too long, a month of just like, again, with my full-time job, just building on
I'm inclined to trust that you can do this. I would say like this might be around a 2-month effort, I think. If you think this is like also like interesting, if I were you, I would probably try to do this, yourself. But I definitely think gauging the interest first is pretty important. You can always try to do this yourself, and then if it gets like too time consuming or too complicated, at that point you can always like get someone else to help you out, like a software person. So honestly, I think it's pretty chill. Like the first step here, technology wise, is just before you can like deploy this properly, you need to secure it. So you need to do the authentication step before the deployment step. Okay. So that would be the first thing for you to figure out is like, how do I authenticate my application? If you work with Claude, you'll be able to figure that out. And I would probably recommend some type of like Google login. Like don't try to like save the password for everyone and have like a user profile like that's custom for everyone. Like use existing software that is already made for authentication, like log in with Google. So look into that direction when you're building this out.
If you're a business owner or you work at a company, I have something for you. So basically I'm live every Sunday at this time below on YouTube and on Twitch, and I answer questions about AI, and I have meetings with my clients on how to use AI efficiently in their workflows. For example, on how to set up your memory workspace properly, your second brain, because that's literally the most important thing you can have, since making money, getting clients, everything is downstream from that. And if you want more personalized help, I also made a private community recently where I have a classroom about everything that gives you these specific steps, and I have a very specific diagnostic here, a set of questions you can answer to figure out your exact next step. So I hope to see you soon, whether it's during the live call or in my private community. I'll see you there.